Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary, for having us together here today. Senator Feinstein, for all the good work that you've done with us for going on 2 decades now in trying to help solve California's water problems. Clearly, we have a lot to take into account. What is different between this drought that we have today than the last one we had 16 years ago? Well, a number of factors. First of all, we have 8 million more people in California than we had in 1993. 8 million more people that need water. Number two, Southern California, with the record of decision on the Colorado River, lost 400,000 acre-feet of water that they received from the Colorado River. Number three, we have judicial decisions in the last 16 years that have put enormous constraints on how we operate the state and federal projects for a combination of reasons. And number four, my area that the Valley delegation represents as a result of the passage of the Miller-Bradley Act in 1992, lost 1.2 million acre-feet of water. Those are four important factors. Now, I would feel less chagrined about the loss of the water if, in fact, as Congressman Miller noted, it had helped the fisheries and it helped the water quality. But we're lacking 1.2 million acre-feet of water in a drought, and we've now given up another 200,000 acre-feet as a result of the restoration of the San Joaquin River, which is a laudable goal. But we're given in the San Joaquin Valley, and we're in the middle of a drought crisis, and the people in our district do not understand it. They don't understand why are we having to give up our sustainable water supply, and no other part of California is contributing to the problems that have been created as a result of our broken water system. So their angst is there, the frustration is there. Our constituents are experiencing this fire that Congressman Cardoza, I think, well described, and they don't see anyone coming to help us put out the fire. Now, Mr. Secretary, we are at the crossroads. We are at the crossroads as it relates to strategic decisions. I thought that Professor Mount from the University of California, Davis, made a very important description earlier. Many of my colleagues weren't here at the time. He talked about the Delta in the 19th century, the Delta in the 20th century, and he talked about the Delta in the 21st century. And the problem is that you can't restore the Delta based upon the 19th century circumstances. It doesn't look that way anymore. And we ought to just get rid of the notion that somehow we're going to turn the clock back 150 years. It's different. Unfortunately, Mr. Secretary, for you and for us, while you have made efforts, and I applaud you for those efforts, much more needs to be done. People in our valley are looking for Washington to provide more than hope, but for solutions to farmers, farm workers, and farm communities. Our state's facing an immediate long-term water challenges, and we need a partnership, and I commend you for the MOU today to establish that partnership between federal, state, and local governments to ensure that we have a stable source of water for all of the regions of California, beginning with the San Joaquin Valley. Valley agriculture is a $20 billion a year industry. Communities in my district are facing unemployment levels of 30 to 34 to 38%, and mind you, those are depression-like numbers. Detroit isn't suffering any more than our valley is today. The fact is that thousands of jobs have been lost, hundreds and thousands of acres of land have been taken out of production, and it could get worse. Could get worse because the last drought lasted 6 years. We are now in just the third year. It could go a fourth and a fifth year, and I might differ with you, Mr. Secretary. It's not just a lack of rainfall and snow in the Sierra, but the regulatory scheme and framework is exacerbating this problem. And anybody who has followed it closely understands that. The Bureau of Reclamation, the Department of Water Resources, and all the water users have been doing water modeling to determine what the allocations will be next year. According to some estimates, another below-average year south of the Delta, water users could face a zero allocation of water. Even in an average year, we may get 30%. You can't successfully go to a bank and get a loan to continue your farming or your business next year if you can't say that we have more than a 30% supply of water. No banker's going to loan it to you. Now let me say, the fire that is taking place in the San Joaquin Valley can be responded to with quicker action than we have. Agencies have emergency powers under several statutes. For example, the Environmental Protection Agency used this authority in the wake of the Hurricane Katrina to waive regulatory requirements and decline to enforce certain categories of violations under environmental statutes. This is our Katrina. The Interior should call upon the Council of Environmental Quality, I'm glad that they're here today, to make emergency alternative arrangements with respect to expediting NEPA. For example, on the host of projects that Senator Feinstein and others of us have spoken about, the 2 gates and the intertie, and provide the financing. I mean, it was nice that we got a little less than $40 million, but we gave the whole state $400 million, and we've given Detroit billions of dollars. Can't we afford to somewhere find the $40 to $50 million to build 2 gates? Come on. Our constituents wondering, what are you talking about? You're providing billions of dollars for economic stimulus packages, and you can't find $50 million for 2 gates? We can do better. I understand that in previous years, agencies have made such arrangements with CEQ over 41 times. Ms. Utley, we need to dust that off and look and see what precedent we can use. 41 times CEQ has made such arrangements. This is a no-brainer. We should have been working on this already. We cannot continue to see thousands of jobs lost and stand by generations of families who have farmed and worked hard with the rich ethnic mosaic that makes up America, this melting pot that we all love, and see these folks go out of business. These are my neighbors. These are my friends. Mr. Secretary, like your family, for 4 generations, my family's farmed for 3 generations. I go home every weekend, I look in the face of these people's eyes, and they say, Jim, what are you doing in Washington? We appreciate the department setting up the drought task force, but they ask, what is the drought task force done? I understand you're formalizing that effort today with the 6 agencies. We appreciate the Department of the Interior taking another look at the flawed biological opinion, but how long will that take? My constituents don't want another study. They don't want, and I hate to use this word, lip service, but that's what they feel they're getting. We know that the biological opinions are in conflict with one another, and we know from history they are rarely bulletproof solutions. We know in the Columbia River, for example, that the agencies were forced to redo the biological opinion several times, so we don't want the judges may intervene. So let me close. The biological opinions affecting our valley, affecting the federal and state water projects, do not account for all the factors degrading the Delta health. The in-stream private diversions, the power plant diversions, the discharges, the toxic runoff, the pollutants. I believe that every region in California must have a sustainable water supply, whether it's the North Coast, whether it's the Sacramento Delta region, whether it's Southern California, but our valley has given up almost 1.4 million acre-feet of water, and where is our sustainable supply of water, I ask you. Mr. Secretary, I want to close by saying that I wish you, in the strongest terms, to embrace your role in this process. For better or worse, this is now under the Obama administration's watch with you in the lead. I plead to you not to let this become President Obama's Katrina, because we haven't come together. We need to come together. I've been working on this for 30 years, and I'm passionate, and I'm angst, and this is the most difficult time I've had in the 30 years of public service. I'm here today to work together, and we need to put down the rhetoric, but my passion is I'm in ground zero where all of the land has been fallow. And folks just wonder, Jim, does anybody care in Washington? I believe you care, Mr. Secretary, and I believe Senator Feinstein cares, and I believe the people, my colleagues in California, want to find solutions. It's time to come together for constructive solutions. Thank you very much.